Hi guys, Steph here. Right, what we got for you today? Today we've got for you the mystery pen. Yes. Do you remember about a week or so ago I showed you all the boxed pens from my recent pen haul, and I showed you, well, I briefly showed you or teased you with this here. There you go. So as I say, it was quite a mystery box. And here's that mixture. Oh dear, my teeth are not right today. Here is that mystery box again. Okay, now nice and simple. It does what it says on the tin. So we've got a Swan pen. Now, okay, you can see the box is actually it's not in bad condition in my opinion. Coincidentally, this is quite near to where I live actually, so I've not noticed that. But either way, there we go. Let's have a look what's inside for you. That's what you've been waiting for. So we'll take the lid off for you. And there's the pen. Let's put that to one side. Inside, there we've got the lever filling type. Is that the instructions? And we've got these quite old instructions. Are the instructions or is it the guarantee? Yeah, the guarantee there. Not sure if it's actually the original box for this particular pen. I don't know. Who cares? In my opinion, it's all interesting reading. So there we go. We've got a guarantee there, piece of paper. That folds up nicely and goes into the box. So that has helped to keep this particular pen in nice condition. Yes, there's nothing much need to be said, is there? Isn't it gorgeous? No, nothing needs to be said, but yes, we'll say a few things about it. So what we've got here, nice and simple, is a Swan leverless pen. And nice, let's go straight to the model. If I show you the end of the barrel, where is it? I think it's that way up there. So I'm hoping you can see that. It says L330 dash underneath 64. Okay, so the L330 is the model, dash 64 will actually be the colour. Now, what colour is it? I've read somewhere that Swan, maybe Todd called it the brown amber. Is that a correct name for it? I don't know, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I've heard it mentioned, or some people describe it as a striated honey caramel colour. So take your pick on whichever one you would prefer. But in my opinion, either way, it is absolutely gorgeous. The size of it, from the top of the cap to the bottom of the barrel, 128 millimeters capped. Around the barrel, it's a lovely 12 millimeters in diameter. Now, when it came to me rather, it was actually in not bad condition, to be quite truthful with you, but I have actually restored it, cleaned everything, disassembled everything. We've put a neck sack inside because it's a twist filler, as we'll show you in a moment, and everything has been totally cleaned. Okay, now you can see, as I said earlier, it's what we term as a twist filler. So you got the twisting knob to the end here. We've got quite a thin barrel band there, quite a thin barrel band further up. There's no band on the cap, as you can see there, but it comes with the very early ball clip with a Swan logo to the very top, as you can see there. Okay, and then to the very top we've got another gold band, and as you saw previously, look at that, a lovely little logo of a swan to the very top. And to be quite honest with you, all I've done is actually cleaned and polished that top. I've not added any paint or anything like that. That is, as far as I'm aware, totally original. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, what imprints? We've shown you the imprint on the end of the barrel there, but look at that. It's got a lovely, is it a Swan? It says Swan leverless pen. It's got a patent number 390, I think 585-32, maybe Todd and Company Limited underneath, and then to the very bottom there, made in England, with the Swan logo to the left, as you can see there. There's another angle, so a lovely clear barrel imprint, as you can see. Now, while we're at the top there, you can see on the cap there, it's also got the word Swan on the cap itself as well. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this is by no means a popular pen. It's one of the less common models. They're not very common. You find me another one if you can, but especially in this condition, it is absolutely stunning. Now, when I say it's stunning, I'm umming and ahhing what to do with it. I mean, first of all, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to actually find a new home for it. But basically, as I say, in my opinion, it's not a common pen. It's not a common model. It's in superb condition. If it doesn't sell, nice and simple, I'm more than happy to keep it in my own collection. Okay, but either way, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so we've shown you the pen as you've seen there. There's also another added bonus. If I actually unscrew the cap for you, let's show you the pen in a number of different angles. As I say, it's absolutely a stunning example. Like I say, it came to me in pretty good condition. We've disassembled, cleaned everything, given it a light polish, and it's absolutely superb. And basically, from the age of the pen, now I'm aging the pen around about the 1930s, so what, 70, 80, 90-year-old pen in absolutely stunning condition. This will put a lot of the modern pens to shame. Now, if we go to this section there, you can see it's got a standard Swan section, and if I turn it round just to the section there, you'll see it says Swan L3. Okay, now last but not least, the icing on the cake as far as I'm concerned is this gorgeous nib. So what I'm going to do, let's do your close-up of it for you. Look at that. Isn't that a absolute stunner? And once again, a bonus or icing on the cake, because it's got, as you can see there, what we term as the keyhole breather hole, if you like, where normally they're actually just round or a heart shape. This one, as you can clearly see, is the quite a rare keyhole nib. It also has a lovely barrel, well, not a barrel, but the imprint reads Swan. It's a number 3 nib, which is a correct nib. Maybe Todd and Company, then made in England underneath. There's a sideways view for you. And there's the feed underneath. And you can also see on the feed, it also has the word Swan and L3, which again is correct for this particular pen. So there we have it. So not only is it a gorgeous pen, but we've got quite a rare nib on the pen itself with this stunning keyhole nib. Okay, so let's go back to normal. So there we have it. So that's the nib for you, as you could see there. Absolutely stunner. And although it's a slightly small pen, it's nice and chunky, so very nice and comfortable to actually hold. Now, as we said, it's a twist filler, which means that you just simply turn this knob at the end. That in turn turns a bar inside the pen, which, well, basically presses against the sack and fills the pen with ink. Now, because it's been fully restored, everything's been cleaned, I'm not going to do a writing sample, but what I want to show you, because just testing it slightly beforehand, let's show you. So what we've got is a Swan leverless pen. Now, I've had this, you know, some of you regular viewers, you would have seen this. I'm having problems with this particular paper. In the past, when I've bought this particular pad, never ever had a problem. On this one, occasionally, as you can see here, I get a problem where the ink actually bleeds into the paper. Okay, and it's a shame really, because apart from that, it's actually writing very, very nicely indeed. But look at that. Let's just dip it again. Okay, so dip it again. In fact, what we'll do, so there we go. So it's got a lovely, lovely flexy nib. There we go. Now, if any of you people know the reason, I mean, basically, I think I know the reason. Is it the paper? Personally, what I believe it to be is that because we've had, you know, quite a cold winter, where this paper is kept, it's not too warm all the time, and I think it might be you know, the paper itself may be slightly damp, which is causing, you know, the bleeding of the ink there, which, well, you can see in this particular case, you know, it's actually the worst I've actually seen it, which is not very good. So basically, I think it's the paper that's getting damp. In fact, what I'm going to do, I think tomorrow, I'll go and buy another pad. They're not very expensive, and let's see if I actually did. I went out and bought a brand new pad, which is here. This is the first page. We've got the same pen. Let's just see if it makes any difference. Okay, so let's have a look here. So we've got a Swan leverless pen made in England and made circa, as we said, around about the 1930s. Now, as I showed you before, this one does have a bit of flex. Okay. So there we have it. So does that actually make any difference? I'm not too sure, to be quite honest with you. I mean, that actually isn't as bad as the one we did before, which is that one there. But yeah, I think personally it's because, well, let's get rid of that. I think personally it's because the pad, or the other one that I used, is on the damp side. Okay, so I think that's a little bit better, and we'll carry on using this pad for now.